You see, if we look at the history of religions, we can pick up the fact that religions have predominantly had two important goals. One is all religions, in whichever time frame they came into existence and in whichever part of the globe they came into existence, the prophets of the religions and the founders of the religions, they seem to have come into contact with transcendental reality, which is far removed from man's day-to-day life and the sensory world in which man is presently living. And all these prophets and very privileged mystics and sages, it was their feeling that they should share this discovery and this connection with the transcendental reality with the whole of humanity, mainly for ennobling humanity and for sensitizing humanity to that higher dimension of life which is invisible to the senses. That is one goal. And so there is a huge corpus of religious literature which offers testimony to the fact that the prophets and the sages and the founders of the religions, they did come into contact with this transcendental reality, the sacred dimension of life. And they wrote a lot, they spoke a lot in order to inspire humanity, in order to give humanity a point of anchorage. And if humanity really took to that anchorage, then they would be benefited in innumerable ways. That was one thing. And then the second thing is, being prophets and being sages and Mahatmas, it's very obvious that they were very sensitive to the unending problem of human suffering. And it was that perception, I think, that all these prophets and sages, they wanted to address the problem of the inner suffering of humanity. And because that seems to be a little bit ameliorated through some remedy or the other, through prayer, through belief, through faith, and religious observances and so on, study of the scriptures. But the problem did not completely go away, even though it could have been mitigated. So religions give humanity that enormous sensitivity to the unsolved problem of human suffering, and then offer belief and faith and knowledge of the religions as points of anchorage. And if humanity takes that helping hand, then somehow the burden of suffering is mitigated. Though not, the suffering may not be eradicated completely, but it could at least be mitigated. And that is one of the lessons that religion is offering to the whole of mankind. So these are the two primary thrusts of the religions. And against that background, we have to present the work of Amanaska Yoga, because in Amanaska Yoga we are talking about the awareness of suffering, the sensitivity to suffering, and the study of suffering and the possible ending of suffering. So if you showcase it among the background scenario of the religions, then the whole point of Amanaska Yoga makes a great deal more of sense, which is why I invoked the two outstanding goals and directions of the religions.